Howdy. How would you like me to show you how to do an important life hack in SHTF situations that you're not going to hear from many of the prepper channels? Why? Well, because when you follow others, a lot of times you can't come up with your own ideas. And so when you've got a herd of people that just follow one another and copy off of one another, you really have a hard time breaking outside of that box and learning something new. This, I think, is going to make a lot of people go, wow, it's that easy. That's right. I'm going to show you how you can make coffee with a number of different makes and models out there with no electricity if you're in a grid down situation. A little bitty hack that you can do. Now, um, as you can tell, I need art classes. So if you don't mind, please subscribe. And I might be able to eventually take art classes. No promises. But what I want to do is go up to that whiteboard. And I wanted to do this for you. I wanted to have one and actually do on camera. And I've been wanting to do this for over a half a year, I know. I've been wanting to do this video, and I'm going to be real honest. I haven't had the extra 20 bucks to throw at buying a coffee pot so that I could turn the coffee pot that we currently use into a specimen. So, and the one that we've got is like a $20 coffee pot. We don't go out and spend a ton of money on coffee pots. So, what I can do though, the next best thing is I can show you a picture and explain to you what it is that you need to do. So let's go on up to the whiteboard and I'll show you just that. Welcome to the whiteboard. So what you see here is a picture of a disassembled coffee pot. Now most coffee pots out there, a lot of your cheapies, they'll be very similar to this in design. What it is, you'll pull the bottom off. Usually there could be anywhere between 4 and 12 screws to hold the bottom plastic piece on. It depends on your coffee pot. And a lot of them, once you get inside of it, you're going to see something very similar to this. You are going to see a heating element with a metal tube that's connected to rubber hoses, and you're going to have a bracket, and in many cases it's held down by a screw on each side. Okay, that's very, very common. So the reason I know that is because 9 times out of 10, when your coffee pot quits putting out coffee, you see this here? It's called a thermal resistor. And 9 times out of 10, when your coffee pot quits working, it's that thermal resistor. You can buy those for less than $1. And in fact, it'd be hard to buy one. Usually you buy them in packs of 5 or 10 or 25 or however many you want. Just make sure that you match, you get the right one. So anyway, that's called a thermal resistor. If your coffee pot quits making coffee, if it quits getting hot, 99.9% chance it's that part right there. So anyway, here, if you take this bar off, what you're going to get is, of course, you're going to get the heating element and all that, but you're going to get this round, flat plate that is attached to this tube with a heating element, right? And you don't need to worry about any of that. So you have an option at this point. One of the options is you could leave that right there. You could just take the bottom off. I would take any of the electrical wiring and stuff. I'd go ahead and cut that all out and get it out of the way. And then you could literally set that on top of a rack, right? And follow me here. You could put something like a 533 dual fuel stove, little Coleman 533 single burner dual fuel stove, or you could even use the bigger, larger 2-burner, whatever. You'll get the idea. So you've got this sitting on a rack, some type of rack like you'd put muffins or something on, just a wire rack. You put your heat source, 533 Coleman dual fuel, whatever, underneath of it to apply heat to this area. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to start to melt, deform, or warp your plastic. Look, this is about SHTF coffee. None of that matters. So the other option you can do is you could take and you could right over here, I would just cut out a couple of holes big enough for those hoses to fit through. And then what you want to do is, of course, take those screws loose, pull this out, and lay it back over here. Okay, and then you can apply heat to it. If you didn't want a chance melting the rest, I mean, you're going to be cutting holes anyway, but you get what I'm saying, right? And so then you can apply heat to this. And if you had to, you could probably lengthen the hoses a little bit. I wouldn't go hog wild on it. But if you wanted to get your heat source even further away from your tank, now if you're taking this out, you're obviously not going to be able to use it as a warm plate to keep it hot. You're not going to be using that feature anyway if you're not able to apply electric to it. So pretty simple. There's not much to coffee pots. There's not. And that's all you have to do if there's no power, doesn't look like the grid's going to come back or anything like that. This is a simple, easy way you can take your average coffee pot and be able to use an open flame, whichever type you've got, in order to heat the water to perk your coffee. Now, what more of an improvised prep could you need to know than how to make SHTF coffee? Shalom.